Welcome to the counting section. We got Play-Doh, so you know you're in the right place. We got dice. We got locks and keys. We've got all kinds of wonderful counting things. See, the counting is crucial. You have to know how to count. And you've got to have lots of experience counting. And you've got to do lots of activities to learn how to count. And you learn how to count by counting. So we've got tons of counting activities for kindergarten and first grade. But remember, once you establish those patterns of counting and you really do it really well within 20, then you go on to do it really well within 100, then 120, then 1,000, then 1 million. And then you think you know how to count and you start counting fractions and your head starts swimming. Then you start counting decimals and you really start swimming. So counting is something we really teach, right? Through primary, upper elementary, middle school. But a lot of our counting materials, at least for right now, are focused on K1. So I'm gonna show you some stuff we've got. We've got all these, smash it mats forever, right? So there's a whole section on getting kids to count using Play-Doh mats. I mean, like, who wouldn't do that? And then there's a lot of visuals. So there's like number cards where kids pick a card, this card's 6. We have to find all the representations of 6. We want kids to be able to say, what does 6 look like? And what does it not look like, right? And then we've got, cards. They're counting, but, really this is more operations and algebraic thinking stuff. This is a how many more to 10 card. And then they can see it visually. And then there's abstract work, right? Where you see a number and then you have to know how many there are. So this really bleeds into the place value stuff as well. Remember that there are around 21 levels of counting that Clemens and Sarama talk about in their learning trajectory. And this is some research by Ginsberg. He says that the 10s and the 1s should be in different colors, right? To develop that idea of 2 10s and 3 1s, and then that the model should match. So if I have 2 10s and 3 1s, then on this side I have 2 10s and 3 1s. Just a bunch of counting stuff, right? Counting and place value and the marriage of those. So you'll find those in our activities. And then we have, you guys, I made so many versions of this for even addition and subtraction, but just for number recognition, I spy 8. And then of course, who wouldn't use a wiggly eye? It is the obvious counter. And then the kids have to spy 8. Look at this. This is too fun. And so, there's a bunch of game boards like that. And then there's, we want kids supertizing. So there's a bunch of game boards where kids have to supertize. So here's a game. You have your counter, you roll the dice, you move, well, you start here, and you're moving along. You have to supertize. And if you land on a ladder, you climb, and then whoever reaches the goal first wins. So this is like a supertizing card to 5. So there's a whole section on supertizing, which I will talk about in a video because, kids need to be supertizing. Supertizing goes all the way up to 5th grade when you're supertizing decimals and so forth. And you're using place value, supertizing multiplication. So supertizing isn't just for kinder. And then there's a bunch of games like this. How many more? Again, it's more, it's in the operations and algebraic thinking standards. But it's this idea of, I landed here and I'm at 0. How many more to 5? So this is a board that's all about how many more to 5. So the kids land on it and they have to say how many more to a number. And then the number path is right there. So they can say I'm at 0. Well, I have to go 5 more to get to 5. Or I'm at 4. I only have to go 1 more to get to 5. So there's the support. The scaffolded support is embedded in the card. But there's tons of different cards. This happens to be fingers, but there's dominoes and there's dice and there's numbers and, etc. So counting is this really fun section that has some really cool stuff in it. So be sure to check it out.